Well, good morning, everyone. My name is Manish Sharma, and today we're going to be talking about workflows and some apps, how many to keep, what kinds of apps are good, and how to organize some of those things. What I'm going to do is I'm going to talk about some of my perspectives and my experiences. What I do at Thomas More College is I teach instructional technology to pre-service teachers and some in-service teachers. Occasionally, I will also go and work with teachers in schools. And from all of that, this idea of developing some workflows came into play. And that's something that I'm working on, and eventually I will have something that is more detailed than just this presentation. Talking about apps, how many apps do you have typically in your iPad or whatever device you have? How many of you have 15 to 20 at least? All right. 50 to 100? More than 100? All right. More than 200? There's a way you can check that in your general settings. If you go about iPad, you can exactly know how many apps you have. Currently, I have 302 apps. And what I'm going to be talking about, the reason for keeping that many apps for me only is because I'm training people on those apps rather than using it for myself. And that's one thing that we're going to be talking about, is how to limit and focus on some of these things and utilize some of these apps. All right? So you feel like this when you're looking for a file and you find it? And that's what we're going to be limiting by using some of these workflows. We're going to be talking about step-by-step information about workflows. How do you develop certain workflows in a typical day? I have these things organized in PDF format that you can use. There's an entire website set up for this. So you can pick and choose which ones are going to work for you and how you're going to utilize them. If you still have questions, feel free to email me, and I'll be happy to answer your questions, because I have many more things, except we only have about 1 hour's worth of time here. We're going to be talking about Evernote. That is one of my favorite apps that is there. How many of you use Evernote? Great. We're going to be talking about some of the annotation app, Show Me, and a little bit about Dropbox, just to mention that it is an important app that everyone, I think, educators and otherwise, if you have files, if you have other things, you ought to have. Dropbox and Evernote are must apps that you should keep. We're also going to be talking about some observations and rules. These come from my experiences. You may have additional rules and things that you can add to. So this is what we're talking about when we're talking about workflow. Is these are some of the processes and things that we do on a regular basis to achieve the tasks that we do. What kinds of things do we do as teachers and educators on a daily basis? Teach lessons. Assessment, attendance, okay, communicate, right, share information, all of those things. And what I tried to do is I tried to break these down into basic, if you look at it, they're more like computer terms. You have input. You receive a lot of stimulus, of different kind or stimuli. You have input. You have to do processing of information that comes to you from different sources. And then you organize and provide output to folks. Okay? So the typical input comes from students, most often your assignments, what kinds of things to do. How do you do those things? Talking about parents, how's my kid doing? What kinds of things that you need to inform the parents with? Other teachers, administrators, anyone who has connections with schools, whether or not they are there or not, you have to respond to all of those kinds of things. Beyond that, you have your own responsibilities. You have, in some cases, you have kids, you have friends, you have your own lives. What we're trying to do is try to see how we can balance some of those things by using some of these apps in a reasonable manner. Okay? Output may look like lesson preparation, delivery, any emails that you send, organizing your calendars, reminders, those kinds of things. And then processing, either you do it by yourself, in some cases you delegate it to different folks, or some other ways. Okay. In our case, the workflow is utilizing free or low-cost apps that you can use on your iPad or any of the devices, including, in some cases, not all of these apps will work, but there is a similar type of app available on Android machines and even the Windows machines that you're probably going to get from Microsoft if you have already registered for those kinds of things. And I already see some of the folks already have claimed their Microsoft devices, so they'll have those as well. Okay, these are some of the calendar apps that we use, or I have used, and I suggest that people use. Organization, Evernote and Dropbox. Those are the two key things. Show Me, Evernote. EduCreations is similar type of app. Share Everything is a great new app. It is paid app. I think it's $2.99, but it is worthwhile. If you wanted to embed videos and have multiple slides and whatnot, Share Everything is a better solution if you are able to spend resources on that. And we're going to be looking at some of these things. I just want to go through these things. So let's go back and look at this. How many of you have seen a day made of glass? Yes? The new one, the number 2. This is what's talking about workflows. Think of all the things that are happening as her day is beginning and other people's days are beginning. Of course, look at the technology too. It's amazing. Different workflow here. one of the things I wanted to stop here, we are not going to be talking about this, but if you wanted to note this down, there is a software like this that is available, or an app. It's called Nearpod, that allows you to do similar kinds of things that she's doing, where she's sharing her iPod or her device with the rest of the students. But a lot of these technologies and things are available, and what I would like you to do is just very quickly look through some of the workflows. So that was Day Made of Glass 2. They have a first version that wasn't as much related to teaching and learning as this one was, but it talks about workflows and how things work. There were, I mean, anytime you have these kinds of things, everything works perfectly. I mean, we know in real life things don't work as easily. I still, at times, have to look for some of the files like that guy who was there in the beginning. But little by little, I'm getting to a point where I'm using between 7 and no more than 10 apps on a regular basis. The rest of them are there, more to play with, more to explore, and alter those things. I mean, update and upgrade those 9 or 10 key apps. But for the most part, that's what typically we do. We find something new, and what we try to do is like, well, this is cool, let's try this. And then the next thing someone tells you, and it will happen again and again between now and Wednesday and Wednesday actually, where you will find new things, you will create something new, and then what happens is, little by little, your life is partly in this app, partly in this app, and it just spreads all over the place. Now, when you're looking for something, that's when the problem occurs, because you spend more time searching for, I know I did this, and now I don't know where it went. So one of the things that we're going to be talking about is how do you effectively use Evernote in order to organize some of those things. In the meanwhile, I know there are some people, yesterday I got some feedback from folks when I sent an email out. There are people at different levels here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you a website where a lot of information is housed. So if you think that something I'm talking about is already covered, you can look through that. It's right here. Let's see if I can just get you to the website. If you go to this website, it will have two links to two different pages. At this point, it's on a Blogspot website, but it has two links, one for additional questions. So if you have questions, so this is where it will take you. The first one is a Dropmark site. Anyone using Dropmark? Amazing thing. It's a very visual way of organizing your thoughts and sharing with your students very quickly. So as I'm teaching, if I wanted to modify something within this session, I can just think about it. I know where it is. I can put it in, either it can be file, a video, or link. But the first one is the Dropmark site, and the second one is where you can share some apps that you use. So if you're advanced and you get bored or you have other questions or comments, you can feel free to type it in there. But this is what it looks like. It may take a little while to load, but it is visually organizing different types of information. And each one of these is a page about different types of apps. So if you go to professorsharma.com, the first two links will get you there. I'll just wait about 10 seconds, and then we're going to be talking about Evernote. Who has not used Evernote? All right, great. So we'll start with a very brief introduction to Evernote. And the good thing is that they are
Hi, welcome to Evernote. Evernote is a way to capture all your experiences and access them from anywhere. Type a note, store documents, record audio, capture a photograph, or any other moment you want to remember. Evernote saves and synchronizes your digital life across all your devices.
And that's the key thing. You can take a picture. Anymore, I do not take any handouts from any conference or meeting that I'm going to. It has a great interface if you have an iPad or if you have just a regular iPhone. You can take snapshots of every little thing. I go to the expo, and that's what I do. And it's synchronized when I go home. It is synchronized with my computer. If I have to search through things, I'm not very good at thumb typing. I can do a very good job of searching through some of these things. And if I have to search through in here, thanks to the iPhone, I can speak into it, and it will search that also. But that's one of the good things that I like about Dropbox as well as Evernote. It keeps everything in sync on PCs, on Macs. As an instructional technology person who's teaching teachers, this is something that comes in handy because I don't know which computer or device I will be using at any given time. If I have access to my Evernote account, and then I can basically find any note, any snapshot. And the other good thing about Evernote is it does an excellent job of optical character recognition. So basically, I could be wearing a T-shirt that has San Antonio written on it, and if I type in the search term San Antonio, it will pick up that picture that has San Antonio in it. Now, it's not perfect. and it takes a little bit of time before it can do all that optical character recognition. But when you're searching for things, searching through images, that also comes in handy. It's a great tool, that one.
No matter where you are, Evernote is with you. Use it to stay more organized. Plan your next trip. Design and manage a project. Clear your paper clutter. Capture a moment, and always find what you need. Life is full of experiences, and Evernote helps you capture, manage, and remember them all.
The only thing that I have not done a good job of removing that old paper clutter. The new ones, it's all gone. The old one, it still resides in boxes somewhere. But that's what we're going to be talking about, is how do we organize things on Evernote. So let's see if this will work. All right. So you go to Evernote, and the first thing that I like about this is it has already categorized things by places, tags, different notebooks. What I tend to do is when I'm organizing my information, typically everyone chooses notebooks, okay? So I have notebooks, and just like how you alphabetize your files, I just named one of my notebook or collection of my notebook as A, then journal. That's where I typically just write what happened today, those kinds of things, just update so that if I have to look back, I can go back in there. Then there are old stacks. This is when I cleared up all of my old clutter. I just put it in there. It is still searchable, but it is away from these 8 that I very frequently visit. One is just general notes. Anything that I do not know what to do with, I put it in AP. Just the general projects. A lot of times what I find myself doing is I do bookmarking. Anytime I'm visiting a website, this is the best way to bookmark things. Not only can it create a note, but it can categorize it just via email. How many of you use email function on your Evernote? Evernote allows you to, this is what you can do. So, for instance, let's say I go to Safari, and let's say I like this. This is what I was talking about, Nearpod website. Okay, from here you can get that app, Nearpod. If I like this, everyone knows that I can email this just by clicking on that little icon right up there. And it allows me to mail this. And instead of typing in or bookmarking things where I have hundreds and hundreds of bookmarks that I don't know what to do with, what I can do is I can just start typing Evernote, and it pulls up my Evernote email account, and it directly uploads to that. Not only that, now I want it to be organized a certain way. What I have done is I have created a notebook called BYOD. Okay, so I go in here in the subject line. I can go in here and I type in at BYOD, and then I also want to make sure that I have a tag, so I put let's do BYOD space and then pound. And these are all instructions that are there. I'm just showing you, so just pay attention to this. The instructions are already on the site. I just type in a tag that I have created, ISTI, so I can go ISTI. And then I click on send. Now, what it did was it created a note for me, it put it in a notebook for me, and it added a tag. You can add multiple tags. If you use a lot of tags, use multiple tags, and this way it is very efficient. It's all organized in there. I could have sent the same thing into my bookmark notebook, and just to see how it worked. So I go in here, it's syncing. I go to my notebooks. Actually, I did not create a BYOD notebook. It was the Sketch notebook I was playing with earlier. BYOD was my... But if I look in here, let's try this. So do this, same thing again. Say Evernote, and I know that there's a booklet called Bookmarks, or let's just do AP, that's short, and then pound ISTI. Now send it. Now someone is bringing donuts. That's what I do in my class. If their phone rings, they have to bring donuts for everyone. Okay. All right. You go to Evernote. So let's do that. So where you see your name right up there on the upper left-hand corner, you click on that. And then you have the email address. This is the coolest thing. You go in there, and not only is it there, but you can also add it in your contacts, and it shows you right in the contact, revealing contacts, and there it is, Evernote Upload. You can call it Evernote Upload. You can call it A. Now, as I'm talking about workflows, remember, your workflow is going to be completely different than the person sitting right next to you, than me, than anyone else. Just remember that. Your workflow is unique. It works just for you. What I'm trying to show you are some tools that you can utilize and how I have done it. If it works for you, great. If it doesn't, find another way that will. This is just one way of showing you the workflow. So that's where the account's email is. Let's see if it synced. So if I go in my notebooks, I look in here, there it is. And it is already organized within the notebook. Okay? Not only can I do that, now if I wanted to send this out, you can create a public link. You can invite individuals. So if you're using a classroom website, you can add different people and you can invite them. If you have a group email, you can do that right from iPad. You don't have to do anything else. You can send links to any of these notes that you have. the notebooks. You can just drag that and create okay? And this is the other thing that I was talking about, where if you click on this little page icon, it gives you an area right in the middle. This is where you can take a piece of paper, and let me see if I can borrow this. And so it's going to recognize just that area, and I can take a snapshot of it. And this is how I save paper and my time carrying these things. I just click on a check mark, and it is in here. All notes, and there it is. Okay? Now, if I had taken some time and taken a better picture, I can easily do character recognition on this. The other thing that a lot of people don't utilize if you're traveling a lot, if you go to places, it organizes your notes by where you are. So if I just wanted to look at my San Diego notes, and there was only one created last year when I was visiting ISTE, I wasn't using this as much, or at least not this account. I can just look at, and here's my note from there. A lot more notes are from Northern Kentucky area, and again, there are different places within Northern Kentucky where I was taking these notes. So if you're visiting different buildings, if you're a tech coordinator visiting different buildings, you can just zoom in and you can see which one. So if you wanted to take a note from one school versus the other, you can just click on that, and these are all the notes from there. So this is a professional development I was doing at one of the schools. I'm showing some of the things. This is from Holmes High School. So those are some of the things that you can do very easily. Tags, there are all kinds of tags. This is something that I came across recently. In order to organize things by, in alphabetical order, a lot of people, they suggested this. This is something that I'm just in the beginning phases of trying, where they suggested, it's like, well, create something where you write exclamation daily. So that will be the first thing that you type in. You type in exclamation and automatically tags that. Active project, inactive project, who, what, when, where, those kinds of things. At home, where are you going to perform certain tasks? At home, Thomas More College, at different town, at different places, and then different tags. This is how I can search through or add tags to any of the notes. So let's say we go to this one, and I wanted to add some tags to this. I click on information, click on tags, and let's say I wanted to type in ISTE. So ISTE is there, instructional technology, let's say instructional design. All of these things work. Click on done. Now, at any time, I go back and I look in my notebooks and find a notebook. I can say ISTE. Actually, this is finding notebook, not the tags. find a tag. Let's say we say ISTI. There are 18 things that are tagged with ISTI. And I can search through those just like that. You just type the @ sign in the beginning. So if you have a notebook already created, you just type @ISTI whatever the notebook's name is. That's how it goes into that notebook. Tags are using the #. So if you're using the #, it will go and attach all of those tags for that same note. So that's how you're going to be able to do some of these things. You can always take snapshots. So if I wanted to, it's too bright. Select that. You can also bring it into Sketch or add it to your photo album. So you can do that. I don't see any need to do that. As long as you're connected to the internet, this is the best way to organize things. You can take multiple snapshots. So if you're taking snapshots of paper, I would do this one right there underneath the camera icon. If you're taking notes where you're typing things and you're taking images and you're recording yourself, then this will be the best way to do that. So I come in here, I can take a snapshot. Let's see. Again, it's too bright, but let's try it. And say OK. And I say, well, I want to record something, so I come in here. Come on. There you go. So now, not only can I take a picture and say, well, this is when I was presenting at ISTI. Click on Done. And now both of these things are there. I can play this. I don't know if the sound is going to come through, but we'll play. No sound, but it is there. And again, information-wise, I can add tags to this, say ISTI. You can use Apple TV. The other one is Airserver. If you have used that, that works even better. You don't even have to buy Apple TV. Airserver is $10. It's an application versus this one. You'll spend about $90 or $100 for an iPad. You put the Airserver on your computer. As long as it is on the same network, same wireless network as your iPad, it will display anything that's on your iPad to that. All right, any other questions about this? All right, so this is one thing that you can do. The other one is Show Me. It's a great app for organizing things where you can create a new Show Me. And again, let's take a better picture here. I can choose a photo or take a photo. Say Use. And I can send it however I want. I'll just send it to where it is. And then I can start marking in here anywhere. And I can record my sound. So this is at ISTI. This is area 1. This is area number 2. This is where the camera was located, and a bright light. You name it, and it will record all of those things. And then when you click on Save This Show Me, not only will it save my sound and all the annotation, for some reason it's not playing sound, but it is there. It will play exactly like that. So if you're doing equations, if you're solving things using your stylus and whatnot, this is a handy tool. If you've taken pictures of different things, like you went to a presentation, you took that snapshot in Evernote, you saved it on your in your files, you can annotate it, talk about it, and it's there. You don't have to repeat it 15 times for different students. You do not have to do that first period, then the third period, or the fifth period. It's there. If there are people that are absent, they can do that. So if you click on Save, all I have to do is just say Test, and then so I'll just add let's see. So we're just testing it. Now, it is going to be posted there. Not only can I share it or show it to people, I can share it right from here to the community. I can make it private because I don't want everyone to see this. But I can still share it via email. So again, I created this Show Me, and the next thing I know is I can share it in my Evernote. I can email it to all my students, and what they receive is this email or this website address right up top, and within a few clicks you have the equation that you were going to solve, the picture that you were going to explain, the map that you were going to show. Everything is there. It goes to them in a few clicks. Of course, I can just do Evernote, and in the subject area, we'll just add a tag and say pound ISTE. And there it is. It's sent. Not only that, I can go and search through different Show Me's. So if you were teaching mole to mass conversion and you happen to review this, you just come in here, and there's your mole to mass conversion. There's sound going on in the background that somehow is not showing or not coming through, but there's your mole to mass conversion. Now it's going, so it's working. Again, you can create it using a picture that you have already taken. So if I go to camera roll, and let's say if I wanted to talk about my notebooks, I can just say done. And now I can annotate. This is my notebook 1, notebook 2. This one I have to cross out, so on and so forth. And then I can save this Show Me. Save. Test 2. Next. And there it is. Okay. Any questions about these two things? All right, let me show you some of the rules that I was talking about, and then we'll talk about some more things. So this is where we were. Talking about rules. There are a few simple rules. First one is just keep it simple. One app for one task. You can cheat and have two, but try to do, if you're taking pictures, you do not need 15 apps to take pictures, because then you're looking for pictures in different folders. There are some apps that I use just so that I can take a panoramic picture. There's one app that allows you to go top and bottom, but the file is so huge that sometimes I have to get it from a different location. It takes a while, and I forget. Okay? This way, you're keeping it focused, and you're not spreading yourself too thin. So find the one right app, if it is paid app or if it is free, and try to use that for that one task. If not, transfer the ones from one to the other. Okay? Second one, find the apps that work universally. This is important because there are going to be students and people who will come in with different devices, different type of them. They will have Android, they will have Apple, they will have Windows machine, and who knows what. So anything that is web-based, that's what you would like to do. That's where Evernote fits in. That's where Dropbox fits in. Sketch fits in right there, and we're going to talk about that in a little bit. But apps that use web typically tend to work more universally and easily accessible. Okay? Bring it all together. So organize things that are housed in different apps. That's one thing that I did a little while ago, and I'm going to redo that at the end of this summer, is all the things that are spread around in different applications. I'm trying to bring them in. Right now, my biggest focus is Evernote. Okay? I tag things, I take pictures, I have kids, they create a lot of things. I have set up a webcam up here, and with that webcam, I can just take pictures after pictures after pictures and tag every one of those things. And once I have them, that can be recycled or given away to grandparents or whoever else needs them or can utilize some of those things. And it will be there if we wanted to share it later on. So that's one of the things that you can do. Focus on your workflows. Find what works for you. Okay? Find the apps that work for you. If you have questions, say, well, this is what I want to do. Send me an email. Okay? I still get emails from my students who have become teachers or beyond. They send me emails, this is what I'm doing, how do I do this? So send me an email, and I'll be happy to provide you with any number of apps. I have 302 on my iPad, so I can share some with you and tell you what kinds of things will work for you. And these are all unique things. What my workflow is going to be completely different than yours. Transferability, it is important. Anytime you update or change an app, think about this. It's going to take time. If you are modifying things, make sure that your old app's information can be brought into this new app that you're trying to use. So if there is a new camera app, as long as it is sharing and keeping pictures in the picture folder, then you're good. You don't have to do anything. But if you're taking notes in a different software, I used, and I still at times tend to use Notes Plus for taking handwritten notes. Now I have created a workflow where I convert them into PDF, and it goes again to my Evernote. So everything goes into one central location. So if you are updating or changing your app, make sure that you can bring your old information into the new system. It will save you a lot of time as you're doing those things. Then have fun. iPads and everything else was created to have these new apps. You have to try those things. That's why you're here for the next 2 or 3 days. Try to find the apps that work, and this is a good time to modify your workflow. I mean, that's why I come here to get new ideas and say, well, this is how it's going to work. At one time, I got ideas, said, well, I have to conduct my entire class using Google Apps. So I used just Google Apps, I used forms to collect information, and I still do training related to that. But this is what you do. I mean, you try to have different apps that will work for you and go from there. This is the same website that is on professorsharma.com, so you don't have to do anything. Other possibilities, like I said, Google Docs for all kinds of things. So if you're an Android person or you like Google Docs or Google's applications, they are getting better on iPad. If you have not noticed, now you can edit and do many more things that were not possible on iPad a while back. So if you have stopped using that, and if you're still considering, or your school is and you're not, look into it and see if you can utilize something like that. The other possibilities are Nearpod. Nearpod is the one where I can share my iPod. I give everyone in here a code, and you could be my student. And on the Wi-Fi network, I can share my iPod with everyone, so it will show up on your iPads. So iPod or iPad, I can share those things with you. So, please? Yeah, I mean, you can do many more things. I have not looked to this in that much detail, except that you can do, you can share your image from your device to the rest of the class. Yeah, yes, yes. Sketch is by Evernote. If you wanted to annotate something very quickly, this is something that I can show you. Are there any questions before I go to Sketch? All right. So if I wanted to share something from Evernote or into Evernote very quickly, all I have to do is just create a sketch of something. So instead of taking pictures over there, let's take a picture here. And there you go. As soon as I say use, this is the quickest way you can annotate something. So you can talk about this area right here. All these are connections. A document camera here, another thing here, another multimedia stuff here. And then as soon as I say save, not only will it be saved here, it will also be saved in my Evernote notebook. So it automatically saves everything, because since they are owned by Evernote, it automatically saves the information in the Sketch notebook. So if I go to Evernote, I can close this, and let's see if we can sync this. Not in here. There's my Sketch notebook, and there is my picture that I just took. It's already there. All I have to do is I have to add some tags to this. I go in here, I say add some tags. Yes, you can. So let's do, when you go in here, you can choose a photo. You can create from PDF. So if you have a PDF, you can draw on a map. So if you go in here, I can go on any part of, well, let's see. I have to show you where Thomas More College is located. I come in here, and we are right across the river from Cincinnati. So I just take a snapshot of this. And now I just say, we are right about here. And just say, that's where Thomas More College is. And I save this here. And it goes in my Evernote also. I think it does. It has it by default. It has a sketch folder already in there. And I don't know if it even allows you to delete it. I have not tried it, but. Yes. You have to give them, there are two different sets of accounts. One is a teacher account, then a student account. As long as you create a separate thing where you can create a separate teacher account on your students, iPads, then it probably will work, but I have not tried that. So, because what it will do is it basically, with Nearpod, what it does is it gives you a unique ID that you give to your student. As long as they're added into that class using that ID and you're on the same network, you'll be able to display what you have onto other computers. Okay? All right? Other questions? Yes? Uh-huh. Premium, I obviously have premium. The advantage to that is if you are into it where it's important to you to get optical character recognition quickly or larger files or something, then it's worthwhile. Otherwise, for most people, including if I didn't want to, I didn't have to buy that. Same thing works with Dropbox too. You don't have to pay that much because I teach enough students. If I keep on telling them, it's like, well, here's the code, you register through there, and then it works without any issue. I have plenty of space without it, so that's not going to be an issue. All right. Any other questions? All right, let's do a final couple things. Let me see if I have Ed Canvas in here. It's not here. All right. Let me just show you. This is, again, where the information is located. And actually, this is the perfect time. We can just say, thank you for coming. And if you have any questions, feel free to email me. I will check if you have posted any questions or anything online. And I will try to respond to those. But my information is on that website as well as just professorsharma@gmail.com. Thank you again for coming, and have a great conference. Okay. Thanks.